Unaendelea kutazama Kenya's Gold bila wasiwasi. Tunazungumzia masuala ya majani chai, na swali ambalo ningependa kuuliza sasa hivi ni kwamba tuzingatie mbolea. Hapa tunasikia sana kuna mbolea bei nafuu. Je, ni kwa mahindi pekee ama pia tunapata katika majani chai?
Kulingana na mwelekezo wa serikali, hii serikali mpya ya William Ruto wali pronounce, and the government said that they are going to offer subsidy to all farmers within the country. The subsidy was not only on maize production, it is across. Even us as tea farmers, we were also beneficiaries. So like now, last year, we were given a subsidy, or even though it is good, I clarify that the government, yes, have managed to pay us about 1.4 billion. Still, there is a substantial amount that we are waiting for government, which is coming. So mkulima ana benefit. Now we know that even this year, the fertilizer will be much cheaper. Globally, fertilizer imeteremka, lakini pia we are hoping that this year we will, our tea farmer will get it at a price lower than 3,500. Government has already indicated to give us more subsidy, so the farmer might just get a bag of fertilizer at around 2,500.
All right.
Yes.
That's good news for the farmer. And maybe something else I'd like to find out is when you were watching the highlights, which is news on what is happening in the space of agriculture, we've seen a farmer and a researcher who's making wine out of tea, fermenting tea extract. I would love to know, is there any way that you are supporting the modern technology and ways that people are using to just process tea other than the old traditional methods that we are used to? Because this is wine. We're making wine out of tea extracts. Are you helping in that sector?
Yes, yes. You know, the government, this government is very clear that it wants most of our products to be sold outside the country, value added. I'll give you an example. One time looking at a documentary of how tea is grown in Sri Lanka, and I noticed that farmers in Sri Lanka grow alongside with other things like cinnamon, also hibiscus, so that those things, then they are harvested when the tea is harvested, and then they help in value addition. So I think right now what is of key and the direction that we have seen is clear that the current world does not want just the normal tea ile ya kuwekwa tu kwa kikombe. The current generation wants something spicy, so that they are able to consume the tea. So you have to value add it, you have to put some, you know, whether it is cinnamon, whether it is even vanilla, you know, you put something so that we can be able to attract the current generation to take tea.
You've mentioned Sri Lanka,
yes,
just to take you back, in the spirit of learning from other nations that are doing so well.
Yes.
See what coffee sector did with Colombia.
Yes.
With us in the tea space, learning that nations like those are doing so good. Are we benchmarking? Is there any way we are trying to expand ourselves to their market? What are we doing about expanding and protecting our market and learning from the best, some of the best in the game?
Last week we met with the Deputy President, and one thing he assured us is that in key markets, they are going to put in ambassadors who are conversant with our produce. And in areas where we sell mostly our tea, whether it is Pakistan, Egypt, UAE, and the others, I think the appointments all have been targeting people who will be able also to sell our tea. Now, if you look at some of these countries, mainly like Sri Lanka, right from the airport, if you get to Sri Lanka, you will find that you will see Ceylon tea everywhere, because the government took it up and they are able to value add that tea and market it to the world as theirs. Here in Kenya, the main thing, and I see this government putting a lot of effort in it, is that our tea outside there has not been recognized that much. So what this government is doing now is to make sure that we put up mechanisms where we can do our value-added tea here, and it is marketed to the world as Kenyan tea. As it is now, most of these countries, namely maybe like the UK, yes, they produce their tea, but it's not as good quality as Kenyan. So they buy our tea, blend it with theirs, and then they sell it as UK tea. So we need to put in a lot of effort, and that is already happening now. Today we had a delegation from DMCC Dubai who came here, and they want to replicate like the DMCC in Dubai here in Kenya, so that our tea largely can be processed, packed within here, and then it is sold. So I think benchmarking is good, but I must tell you one thing, that the Kenyan tea is actually of high quality, mainly because of the many of the good quality practices we have maintained and consistency over years, and it is highly sought outside there. So it is ours now to make sure that the world now understands and demands the Kenyan tea, and I think there are a lot of efforts being done around that area.
All right. So we can say having those ambassadors in key markets, is it a short-term goal or a long-term goal?
It is a long-term. It's a long-term goal, because we need, for example, if you look at countries like Pakistan, they're the ones that consume largely our tea. If you have an ambassador in Pakistan who is not conversant, and you know tea is the second largest income earner for this country, the forex exchange earner in this country. So we need to actually have people out there who are putting this brand out there, so that we are able to sell more and maybe good quality, and Kenyan tea is well recognized. So I think the ambassadors are very key, and the government is already acting on that.
Okay. We're looking forward to see how that turns out.